All right, everybody. Welcome back to Baxter County Roundtable. I believe this is episode 37.
Believe so.
Our guest canceled on us tonight, so there could be mass confusion, so bear with us. I'm going to turn it over to. My name is Joe Bryant, by the way. Russ Gillis is the co host. He's going to start us off with a little info.
Baxter County Roundtable podcast is an independent media program. We're sponsored in part by the Baxter County Republican Committee. However, sponsorship does not, by any entity, not just Baxter County Roundtable, but any of our other sponsors, sponsorship by any entity does not imply editorial control or endorsement of the content, views, or guests of this program. That being said, our other sponsor is Mountain Home Heating and Air Conditioning. They're voted the best in the Twin Lakes area for 2 years in a row now, 24 and 25. They're the largest Goodman dealer in the Twin Lakes area. Together with Goodman, Mountain Home Heat and Air are two names that you can trust. Goodman systems are made in United States, just outside of Houston, Texas. Made by Americans, for Americans, in America. They also specialize in Daikin mini-split systems. From new installations to duct cleaning and everything in between, Mountain Home Heat and Air are the people you call for your HVAC needs. They offer high-quality systems and workmanship, affordable prices, and financing is available. So give Kurt Lawrence and the folks out at Mountain Home Heat and Air a call at 870-425-HVAC. That's 870-425-4822. Okay, buddy, take it away.
Thank you, Russ. I'm going to start out. I'm going to read the mission statement one more time for
There you go.
anybody that missed it.
We are on a mission.
The mission of the Baxter County Roundtable is to present for discussion issues pertinent to the citizens of Baxter County. End of sentence. So I would encourage anybody that's interested in joining us for these said conversations, discussions. Try to track us down, and we'll get you on here.
Yeah, we'll see. Anyway, we'll talk to them. I'm not going to promise that everybody's going to get on here.
Well, right, but it could happen.
If you've got a topic that you think is of interest to the citizens of Baxter County.
There you go. I'll go along with that. So, as I said before, I believe it was Brian Norris was supposed to be our guest.
Yeah, I got a text from him this afternoon. He had something that unexpected came up. Of course, the day before the full election, things like that happen. So
I totally understand.
But he really said he was really sorry, but he had to cancel. I had something, some kind of emergency or whatever came up. But I will give you a little clue here. Got a text message from Nick Bronny, Supreme Court Justice, thanking us big time for having him on last week. Really appreciated it. He's been traveling all over the state. Well, all of them are. But the thing is, and this is what I've found out, especially during this election cycle, Mountain Home, Baxter County is kind of so far out of the way for anybody to get up here that it's just really inconvenient. It wastes an entire day to come up this way. So the fact that they could get on our podcast and reach the people up here in north central Arkansas made it really convenient for them to get their word out up here. Both Brian Norris, Nick Bronny, Christian Olson, all of them have been very, very appreciative of the fact that they could get their message out up here in north central Arkansas without having to waste a day, but spend a whole day just getting up here.
Right. Well, since Brian's not able to make it, I guess we'll discuss our limited knowledge when it comes to elections. Maybe it's more than limited. I don't know.
Well, the big thing, is for if you have not voted, tomorrow is the last day for this primary. don't wait until the general election and expect to see all of your candidates on the ballot.
especially if you don't vote.
Freedom is won or lost at the primary. Because if you don't vote in the primary, then when it comes to the general election, you're voting for somebody else's candidates. And you have basically forfeited your right, in my opinion, to complain about anything.
Yeah, and if I'm not going to say that the primary is more important than the general, but if you're
They're both important.
they're both very important, but the primary is the time. We've had all numerous years, depending on the office, of what would be now called the incumbent
Yeah.
prior to the election. Well, if you're not happy with those people,
This is the time to
this
get
is the
rid of them.
time to make some changes.
Yeah.
And
But if you're happy with them and you don't vote, then
You
you
take
might
what you
not
can get.
You take what you get. That's right.
now I think it's I just think they're both vitally important.
Absolutely.
And normally there's a light turnout
Arkansas
for-
traditionally is in
For the primary.
is right down in the bottom 3 or 4 nationwide for voter turnout. I believe in 2024 we had 52.4 or somewhere along in there percent of the registered voters actually voted.
but no, that's not
Folks-
for the primary.
No, and the primary is even lower. Folks, that is pathetic. People, I spent 20 years in the Navy, been to some really crap hole countries. In countries that the people would love to be able to have the opportunity to go vote. And here we are sitting here. Our freedom is at stake because we don't exercise that right.
I mean, perfect example. Look what's going on in the Middle East today.
Yeah, exactly.
those
People in Iran are chomping at the bit. My son-in-law, as I was telling you earlier, my son-in-law is actually Persian. His father worked for the Shah of Iran. When the Shah got overthrown, they had to flee Iran, went through Turkey and numerous other countries and stuff, and finally immigrated to the United States. His father passed away a year before last, and they love this country. The Iranians that live here, most of them that immigrated here, love this country. Have you seen all the celebrations in Los Angeles, New York City, everywhere in the United States? And I saw one today, Facebook. This lady says, "Thank God and thank Trump, because now maybe I can go home and see the country that my father told me about."
Yeah, that's a ways off, I think. But I
Yeah.
guarantee you, those people sure do wish they were voting today.
Yes, sir.
So, anyway,
If you just want to throw one thing out, if you're not familiar with it and you don't know who all is on your particular ballot, you can go to, if you just Google voter view, that's VOTERVIEW. It's part of the Arkansas Secretary of State's website, and it'll pop up. You simply put in your name and your date of birth. That's it. And your ballot will come up, and you can literally take that ballot, print it, fill it out, and take that right down to the polls with you, and you know exactly, before you ever get there, you know who you're voting for. I mean, it's complete. It's broken down by justice of the peace district, school board district, everything. If the name appears on that ballot, then that's the people that you are authorized to vote for.
and if you're still not sure who these people are, and I've had people calling me quite a bit. They don't know who some of these names are, like for the Supreme Court.
Yeah, I've got actually, I went.
But if you want to research these people, there's a simple way to do it.
Yep.
And it's Conduit News, and Russ knows more about that than I do. But just quickly, if you want to get a bunch of information, it's not too late to look it up tonight. But
No, it's
you can
not.
you can go to baxtercountyar.gov, and on that website there's a big button right in the front that says something to the effect of
Election.
election information. Click on that, and there's a lot of resources there. And then you know, like for the Supreme Court judge race. This is primary season, but for them it's not. This is it.
This is the final deal for them.
So if you want to look up who these guys are,
Actually, all of the nonpartisan races, which is all your circuit judges, your Supreme Court justice, not the county clerk, not the county judge. The county judge is not a judicial position, but all your circuit judges and all of the nonpartisan judicial races. Tomorrow is the election. It's the final straw, you know. So you got to get out and vote. And of course, we had Nick Bronny on here for the Supreme Court Justice last week. He is our choice. We've endorsed him. Conduit News has endorsed him. I can't say every because I don't know. I haven't checked all of them, but the Republican Party of Arkansas has endorsed him, and most every county that I'm familiar with has endorsed him. Terrific young man, a constitutionalist, a traditional constitutionalist, and I've noticed some commercials being run on TV lately for him,
I know where you're going.
You know, so
There's some dirt being slung, but don't fall for it. Do your homework.
Yep, exactly. But anyway, one of the things I did was, after Brian Norris got a hold of me, I said, well, just in case people don't know, I will sit down and just made a list of all the candidates that I can think of. I'll start with the county judge. That's Kevin Liddy is the incumbent. Eric Payne is challenging him. The sheriff, most everybody probably knows that John Montgomery is retiring. So Brian Davis, Mark Hollingsworth, and Henry Campfield are all running for that open position. The Secretary of State.
Now, on that one, there's 3 guys running.
So there'll probably be a runoff.
There will most likely be a runoff. I think you have to get 50 plus 1.
50% plus 1 vote.
And the odds of that happening are slim.
Very slim. And of course, Supreme Court Justice Nick Bronny. Secretary of State Brian Norris is running against Senator Kim Hammer. Senator Hammer is term limited in the Senate, so he's looking for another government position to fill. Kathy Hardin Harrison, who is currently the county judge in Miller County, which is Texarkana. Commissioner of Lands Christian Olson is running against Cole Jester, who is currently the Secretary of State. But since he was appointed to Secretary of State, he cannot run for re-election for Secretary of State. And here locally, Justices of the Peace. District 1, Dennis Frank is running unopposed. Mike McDonald has a challenger this time, Miss Tia Peters. Rick Steiner has a challenger as Jay Sabella. Dirk Waltrip in District 4 is unopposed, as is Marianne Edge in District 5 and Lisa House in District 6. Bob Nault in District 7 has a challenger, Brian Aids. Eddie Griffin in District 8, the Chief of Police, is also unopposed in the primary, but I think he does have a challenger, a Democrat challenger in the general election. Cameron Davis, who is incumbent in District 9, is being challenged by Jim Baker. District 10 is Shannon Walker, and she is unopposed. And because Eric Payne, who is the current JP in District 11, is running for judge, and he cannot be on on the ballot in 2 different positions, Tom Canta and Danny Woods are running for his open position in District 11. So that's pretty much every race that I know of.
And these JPs are pretty important too. You can really they're going to affect you locally. So if you're not sure, again, you can go to the Baxter County, what was it, BaxterCountyAR.gov website and there's you can find the map of the district you live in
Yeah.
and
Well,
see if any of these guys are in your district. But either way, I would encourage you to go vote, whether it's whether you're a one issue guy or girl or
Yeah.
not.
Well, your registration, once you register to vote, the ballot you get will have your JPs on it.
Right,
And
but if you
that's
want to do some homework,
Yeah, yeah.
you,
And that's why I say go to voter view, because you do that tonight, you'll see all the people that you're authorized to vote for.
that's right.
And then you can get on Conduit News and check the state races, and call your friends or whoever about the local races if you're not sure. But anyway, get out and vote, folks.
And Conduit News is a very good resource.
Absolutely.
They have a voter card or a report card.
Scorecard. They call it the voter score. I mean the
Scorecard.
scorecard, and they vote. They score every single representative and state senator in Arkansas every 2 years on how they vote. Are they conservative? Are they for bigger government? However they vote, they track that and they rate them. And that scorecard is available at Conduit News online, and it's very good. I know the people that run it, Joe Maynard and Brenda Vassar Taylor. He has a pretty sizable manufacturing business over in Fayetteville. They're good people, and they put a lot of effort into the Conduit News, and it's the best news source for what's going on down in Little Rock. You can actually track every single bill down there that's going through, and you can keep track of it. And if it's a really bad bill, they'll have articles on it, and they'll tell you what's bad about it. If it's a good bill, they'll do the same thing for that.
Yeah, I haven't checked who's running, or if anybody's in the primary on. I don't remember.
And
And
we got Stetson. Yeah, we got Stetson Painter.
does he have an opponent in the primary?
He does not have, neither Stetson nor Jason Nazarenko have challengers
in the primary.
in the primary. However, Stetson Painter, our state representative in District 3, does have a challenger, a Democrat challenger in the general election. Scott Flippo, our senator up here, is not up for re-election this year.
Okay. All right. Well, I guess next is where do we go vote? You want that one, or do you want me to take it?
Well, why don't you take that one?
Well, okay. Early voting ended today, as I understand it, at 5
Yep,
o'clock.
yep.
So that's over. Tomorrow's our last chance to vote in the primary, and there was only one voting location for the primary. Now, tomorrow,
For early voting.
for early voting.
Yeah.
Right. So tomorrow, all of our locations will be open, and I'm gonna run the list. And it's tomorrow, election day. Voting is 7:30 a.m. to 7:30 p.m.
Mm-hmm.
You have to be in that line before 7:30. And if you're in line and you haven't gotten to vote, if there is a line, I hope there is. But if you're in that line, you will get to vote, as I understand it.
Yep.
So those locations are Baxter County Training Center, and that's in Midway. I don't know if it's 170 Dillard Drive, Midway, Arkansas.
That's the
Fire
fire training, emergency response stuff.
It's on the south side of 5,
Yep.
right before you get to the
Yep.
Y. I
Yep.
guess they call that the Y. Big Flat City Hall, Highway 14, Big Flat. I bet you if you get to Big Flat, it'll be easy to find.
Yep.
There's not a whole lot of A lot of business happening.
You'll see all those hordes of people standing outside.
Yeah, yeah, you could be, you could be the only one there, but there's not a big population center there. But anyway, Eastside Baptist Church, that's 718 East 9th Street, Mountain Home, Arkansas. That'll probably be a popular one. First United Methodist Church, Mountain Home, Arkansas, which is where the
Early voting.
voting took place.
Yeah.
Henderson Fire Station, that's 62 East in Henderson, Arkansas. Can't miss it. Lakeview Civic Center, 14 Skiles Lane, Lakeview, Arkansas. Lone Rock Baptist Church, and that's on Push Mountain Road in Norfolk. Norfolk First Baptist Church, Norfolk, Arkansas. They have two, okay. Well, there's a pretty decent population there. Northeast Lakeside Fire Station, and that's in Mountain Home out on 62 East. Salesville City Hall, that's 46 Gillespie Street, Salesville, Arkansas. And Good Shepherd Methodist Church, Cotter, Arkansas. Nothing in Gassville.
And all these, this list is actually on the county's website too. So you can download it, or if you didn't catch those, just go to the Baxter County, Arkansas government website, and under elections, it's there.
Yeah, and if it's 7:30 a.m. to 7:30 p.m. again,
Yeah.
and it's tomorrow, March 3rd is the actual date. So if your calendar's off a little bit, it's tomorrow, Tuesday.
And if you're not registered to vote,
You missed
there's
your
no
chance.
need to go.
That's right.
However, after the election, well, you can still go register to vote. But, I would highly encourage people to start registering to vote if you haven't. But get out and vote, folks. I just can't stress how important it is that we've got to get our voter numbers up. I hear people complain about what's going on in government. And so often I ask them, well, did you vote? No, my vote doesn't count. No, it doesn't count if you don't cast it.
That's a fact.
If you're not registered to vote and you don't cast a ballot, then, like I said earlier, in my opinion, you forfeit every right to complain about what's going on with the government that you did not vote for.
Yeah, you let somebody else make the choice for you.
Yep.
I lost my train of thought here. But
Well,
I just
there's a bunch of folks over in Iran right now that have. There's a bunch of people over in Iran have totally lost their train of thought.
well, they've lost a lot more than that, and I would argue that. I don't know how long it's been. They've lost a lot throughout the decades.
47 years.
47 years.
47 years they've been in power. And they have been, over the last month or so, it's estimated that they've killed between 35 and 40,000 of their own people.
And over that whole period, it's just
It's
untold.
Yeah, hundreds of thousands.
So that's, you have to get out and vote. I would argue that I don't think to that degree, but we're so close to losing this thing during that last presidential election. I shudder to think where we'd be today
Exactly.
with a President Harris.
And people that don't vote, a lot of them don't keep up with the daily activities of what's going on in this country, what's going on in Baxter County, Mountain Home, wherever they live. They're clueless. Folks, if you don't pay attention, I've told this to many people. I lived in California for 40 years, and I don't mean to be preaching here, but I lived in California for 40 years.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
Uncle Sam sent me out there in 1976.
Well, we appreciate that.
And I'll tell you, when I first got there, it was a great place to live. Southern California has, I'll tell you, the best weather in the country. 72 degrees most every day of the year. You walk around on Christmas Day in shorts and flip-flops and stuff, But The only problem was property taxes continued to escalate. Late 70s, people were actually having to, especially people on fixed income, was having to sell their property because they could not afford to pay the property taxes on it. So they would sell the property, take what was left, and move out of the state. They finally passed in early 80
They came here, didn't they?
Prop
Those
13.
people?
Some of them did. They passed in early 80s. They passed Prop 13, which capped the property taxes. Well, that made it a lot better, and from then, for a number of years, it was a great place to live. Then the radicals started taking over, and I'll never forget. There's this one lady. She was the most vile woman I believe I've ever met. She was a union activist, Lorena Gonzalez. The next thing you know, this radical union activist was on the was a county supervisor or city council. Next election, there was another one or two of them got on there. They ended up with a super majority. Then they just took over, and I think there was only one conservative left on the city council. Same thing was happening to the county supervisors. Then they got a mayor that was just as crazy as they are. Lorena Gonzalez is now in the state congressional caucus, and I think she's number 2 or 3 up there. She has just taken the same radical philosophy that she had there in San Diego. She's just taken that to Sacramento and now is pushing it statewide. And I've done a lot of analysis on this, and it's like, what happened? Because you talk to people and say, how in the hell did we get here? Well, they got there because people weren't paying attention to the local politics. You know, we wait around every 4 years to vote for a president. It takes 15 minutes, you go in, cast your ballot, and you're done for another 4 years. The city and the state here affects you. What goes on here affects you a whole lot more on a daily basis than what happens in Washington, D.C. Your vote here is one out of like 40,000 registered people.
And if you look at the big picture, it doesn't take that long. You
No.
gotta get out and do it.
Exactly. There's roughly 43,000 people here. Okay, so I think there's around 30,000 or so registered voters in Baxter County. So your vote is one out of 30-something thousand here, whereas, in a national election, it's one out of 175 million or whatever it is. So it has a whole lot more impact here. And, believe it or not, your vote here could be the difference. Many of these election races around here are decided by just a few votes.
That's right.
So your vote may very well be the difference.
Especially in the special elections. I don't know if we have that this time around, but
No special elections. They've actually, they pretty much, they put a big limit on who and where and how you can actually do special elections now. No more of this having a special election, and 6 months later, you pass something like a water park or a water park, where
I know
1,700 people out of a county of 43,000 get to vote on it, and we all have to live with the consequences. Good, bad, or indifferent. It's like that. I'm sorry that I really have a lot of heartburn with that method of doing business. You open it up to everybody in the county because everybody in the county is going to pay you.
And it's
Exactly.
intentional.
Exactly.
And
It's
I'm
all
totally
intentional.
against it.
Yep, exactly.
One thing we haven't discussed, and I don't know if it's even worth it. You and I both live in Baxter County, but our school board is in Fulton County,
Yep.
Viola. So I really kind of dropped the ball on that one. I didn't learn about those candidates, so I didn't vote for either one of them. There was two two candidates on our ballot, and I didn't know who they were.
Yeah, and a lot of people have heartburn with that. And I actually talked to Jamie Nicholson Johnson about this a few months back. Because I live.
But before you get going,
Okay.
is there any school board on this? Any school board voting on this
The only thing on this election for
Ballot.
school board,
in Baxter County?
it's something about the millage tax, the millage for our schools. This is not an increase. It's not a decrease. Scott Booth, the vice president of the school board, was telling us earlier. It is by Arkansas code law that every election they have to have on the ballot what the millage tax is for the school. If every single person here voted against it, it's not going to change. If everybody voted for it, it's not going to change. It's simply a reconfirmation that here, this is what your millage is for this school district. It's the same way once a year, every year, the quorum court has to publish what the millage is for the different fire districts in the county. Whether they raise them, lower them, or nothing, no change, they still have to publish it. And they put it in the minutes of the quorum court, and that's there.
Kind of crazy, but all right. What were you going to say about Jamie?
Well, a couple of the people at my church was complaining. We were talking about the school boards. You and I live in Baxter County, but it's kind of a freak because of the way that little section of the county goes in. We actually are in Fulton County School Board District. That is set by the state. The county has nothing to do with it. That's all by the state. And they draw those based on population and whatever the parameters are. But it's set by the state.
Okay.
And the county has nothing to do with it. But she did say that a lot of people complain about it.
Yeah, there's a little confusion. I totally missed that, and it's unusual for me. But I did see some of the signs, and I just got by me this time.
Yeah, same here.
But so other than that, I don't really have much more. Do you?
I really don't have anything. I just can't stress enough for people to get out and vote. It's 10, 15, 20 minutes out of your life that you'll never get back.
Yeah, and
And it could make a difference.
these midterm elections really affect your life, and your immediate experiences that you're going to have with politicians.
And it gives you good practice for voting in a general election. When Tom Cotton, our senator, has a challenger, and heaven knows if we lose any of our senators or representatives, what that's going to do to the agenda that's going on right now in this country to try to bring us back. I hear people talk about, the Democrats nationally, they're always talking about affordability. Well, Joe Biden jacked up prices on everything 30%. And now because they're not less than what it was when he came into office.
Well, there are some of us that would suggest that he had nothing to do with that, but that's another story.
Well, his Joe Biden had
he had his name on it.
His policies took is what did it. Yeah, he didn't know what was going on, but his policies are what jacked up the prices, and we're still suffering the consequences. But But anyway, we've got to vote for our. Well, we're very blessed here in Arkansas, and I complain about them just like y'all do. But sometimes, we've got, all of our Washington contingent are all Republicans, so we got to at least keep them in there. Try to get them swayed to vote more conservative. But
give them a call once in a while.
Yeah.
Even if they do something good. But,
yeah, exactly.
But give them a call and push them. So Did you want to read the advertisement one more time?
Sure, sure. I'll talk about Mountain Home Heat and Air anytime. Those are some really good people out there. I'll tell you. I know I know Kurt. I know his daughter. His daughter runs the office. Does a very good job. So Baxter County Roundtable is sponsored by not only by the Baxter County Republican Committee, but by Mountain Home Heat and Air. Largest Goodman dealer in the Twin Lakes area. Voted the best in the Twin Lakes area for 2 years in a row. Give them a call. 870-425-HVAC. You know, I mean, it's going to be heating up here pretty soon. So, you know, you're getting through the winter now with your heat. Now you need to get a tune-up for your
Man,
for
I'm
your
ready.
AC. Make
I'm
sure
ready.
it's working.
I hate that bill, but
Yeah, we don't want to get to August and all of a sudden, you know, your AC ain't working.
I'm ready for some warm weather. Okay, is that all you have?
That's it.
All right. Well, thank you. I've got a few announcements. I'll go down the list. Quorum Court, first Tuesday each month, 5:30 p.m. at the Baxter County Courthouse.
Except that they're meeting tonight instead of tomorrow night because of the
that's-
election.
Okay, I did not know that, but
Yeah,
that
but
makes
it's
total
over.
sense. Okay, well, X that out for this month. City Council, first and third Thursday, 5 p.m. at City Hall. City Planning Committee, second Monday, 1 p.m. at City Hall. County Planning Committee, second Tuesday, 11 a.m., Baxter County Courthouse. A&P, which is advertising and promotion, third Thursday, 3 p.m., City Hall. School Board, third Thursday, 6 p.m., and that is at the Administration Building on Rodeo Drive. And Public Safety Commission, I believe that's as needed. And Baxter County Republican Committee meets last Tuesday each month, 6 p.m., VFW, and you might even get a burger if you show up.
Yep.
Normally there's food there.
Oh, and also, I want to throw out the Republican Men's Club is meeting this Thursday. They meet first Thursday of each month at the Oaks Club at 11:30. So if you're in town, you want to check out the Republican Men's Club, come down and join us at the Oaks Club at 11 Thursday this Thursday.
Is there any activity on the Young Republican formation?
Well, last meeting we didn't have. I didn't have a whole lot of input on it, but yes, we're still working on getting the Young Republicans Baxter County Charter resurrected. If you're interested, I just ask you to give me a call. My phone number is 619-597-0052. And I'll make sure I'll get your name and all pertinent information, and we'll get you signed up.
Yeah, or you can track down any of us in the Baxter County Republican Committee, Executive Committee.
Yep.
More than likely we can get you in touch with Russ. So I think if you've said all you have to say for tonight,
That's all I got.
we'll call it a night, and I'll say thank you. Join us back here 1 week from today, 6 p.m. Well, 6:15 p.m. I'm sorry. And that's it. Good night.
And go vote.